Today I'm going to be making a taco ground beef shredded hash brown casserole. I'll be using 30 ounces of shredded hash browns. You could use it frozen. This is kind of thawed already, around 30 ounces. 1 can of cream of chicken soup, a drained can of Rotel. I'm going to be using some Mexican sour cream. I'll season with some smoked paprika, some chives, and I'll also be using some shredded cheddar cheese. And here I have a pound of lean ground beef that I'll be seasoning with like taco seasonings. You could use a store-bought prepackaged of taco seasoning. I have a pantry full of seasonings that I'm gonna just put together and season the ground beef. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm gonna start breaking this apart. You guys, there's probably an easier way to do this. I'm sure you guys have like your pro ways of like breaking down ground beef and seasoning it and breaking it apart before. I'm just going for it. So I'm gonna go with some, this is seasoned salt. You could just go with salt, like a half teaspoon to a teaspoon. I'm gonna go in with some dried dehydrated onion. Here I have some garlic powder. Like I always say, season how you like. Here I have some chili powder, like a teaspoon or so. I really want this, yeah, to have the chili powder. Let's see, what do we got? I'm also going with some ground cumin. I've also got some smoked paprika in here. Just break it apart, cook it. I did add a little bit of cooking oil to my pan here, my cast iron skillet. And I'm also going to go with some cracked black pepper. And that should do the trick. Instead of using the seasoned salt, maybe you can add like beef bouillon powder. Or like I said, just add salt. Okay, so I'm going to add my can of Rotel into the ground beef. There we go. And I'm just going to let it continue cooking just for a minute or so. I'm really not trying to overcook the Rotel. At this point, you know, taste things for seasoning and adjust to your preference. I think I'm going to add a little bit more cracked black pepper. And just a tad more chili powder. Like 2 teaspoons to, 2.5 teaspoons. I mean, I don't know if a tablespoon would be too much of chili powder. It really depends on what you like. Okay. So the residual heat will carry over from this cast iron skillet and let it hang out and just shut off the heat. This is done. Okay, time to make the hash brown part. So I have about 30 ounces of my shredded hash brown, my store-bought. I didn't use the entire 2 packages of that particular brand. It's 30 ounces. So to that, I'm going to add like a cup of my sour cream. I'm using Mexican sour cream, which is a bit runnier, which is what I like. My cream of chicken, my condensed chicken soup. And you know, there's techniques if you just don't like to use store-bought canned soups. You could make your own cream of chicken, kind of like make a bechamel sauce and add chicken flavoring to it. I mean, that's one way to do it. I'm gonna add some dried chives, some smoked paprika, and let's give it a mix. Okay, so I'm gonna add a little bit of my shredded cheese into, just a little bit, the rest will go on top, into my hash brown mix. I'm gonna go with some cracked black pepper. I'm also gonna add a little bit of onion powder. Season this how you like. And some seasoned salt. Now just mix, combine, and then we're going to put this casserole together in my baking dish. Okay, this already smells fantastic. Okay, I'm working with like an 8 by 12. If you do this in a 9 by 13, just the layer is going to be a little bit flatter, but I'm going for an 8 by 12. So I'm going to add into my buttered baking dish all of my hash brown mixture. And let's make sure it stays in there. Gonna scrape all that goodness. Okay, so just create your layer with this. And actually looking at this, you probably could use both of those bags of hash browns into this. I think it would have fit. But I know most hash brown, like freezer section hash brown bags come in like 30 to 32 ounces. That's why I kind of kept it with like that 30 ounce. And I don't really want this compacted. I'm gonna scrape this off into, okay. Okay. So going on with my layer of ground beef. And I noticed the Rotel, the can of Rotel that I used really didn't have a lot of green chilies in it. So you could add extra green chili. You could add pickled jalapenos to this. I like doing that sometimes. I just went for Rotel because I found it in my pantry. So just spread that out all over the top. You could also combine the ground beef with the hash browns. You don't have to layer this. I just think it's gonna look nice layered, you know. It'll have a contrast and textures and, you know, all that good stuff. The cheese all on top. And I'm gonna bake this uncovered in a preheated oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for about 45, 50-ish minutes, or until everything is golden brown, bubbly, cooked. Just get that on there. And there we go. By the way, I used around 2 tablespoons of softened butter to spread on the baking sheet before I added everything. Okay, going into the oven. Okay, see you in about 45 to 50. Okay, it's done. I'll close it behind you. So it got a little toasty and crusty on the top, just like we like it. Let's see. Oh. So yeah, I'm gonna let this set and just take a look at that. So, you know, maybe 35, 45 minutes. I think my oven ran a little bit hot, but this smells so good. So I have some green onion and parsley, or this is actually scallions, the green tops of scallions, and I'm just going to garnish while it's still kind of warm. And get the parsley on here, and like, this is dinner. It's just serve with the side salad, or don't. If you just if you just want the casserole, hey, I won't tell anyone. So I'm gonna let that set for like 10-15 minutes just to let it cool slightly, and then you serve it and top how you like. Okay, so I'm gonna top it with some more scallion, pickled jalapeno, and my crema. So let's get this here and just top it just like that. I'm gonna go with some more scallion tops. I'm gonna get some pickled jalapeno action going here. I love these. Some people don't. You don't have to do this, but right on top, just like that. And there's dinner. This is a delicious taco ground beef casserole. So I hope you give this recipe a try. I hope you like it, and thanks for watching.